मजमे का हिस्सा बनेंगे तो ज़्यादा बरकत मिलेगी. If you become a part of the gathering, you will get more blessing. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa amma ba'd. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. لقد من الله على المؤمنين إذ بعث فيهم رسولا من أنفسهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. Brothers have to tolerate the bigger mic because of sisters, and sisters have to tolerate the speaker because of the few brothers who are here to listen. So sisters, I request you for once in Ramadan, for Allah's sake, Jazakallah khaira. We put a speaker in the outside room, somebody plugged it out. Musalla should be a musalla first and foremost. It can be a shadi hall later, but musalla should be a musalla first and foremost. It's a prayer hall. The ayah that I recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that I have favored you. I have favored you. Who is saying this? Allah is saying this. My relationship with my Allah is that He is constantly favoring me. Whatever I have, whoever I am, it is all because of His favors. Such a person who constantly gives us favors, Allah is not a person, but think of an example of a person who is constantly favoring us, our parents, our teachers. Constant favors. We realize it or we do not realize it. Constantly giving us, blessing us with their favors. Sometimes those favors are in a harsher form and shape. Sometimes they are very sweet favors, but all of them are favors. So Allah, from our creation, before our creation, and throughout our life, and even after our life, Allah is favoring us constantly. Allah हम पर मुसलसल एहसान फरमा रहे हैं. हमारी पैदाइश से पहले, हमारी हयात के दौरान, ज़िंदगी के दौरान, हमारे मरने के बाद, हत्ता कि अल्लाह ताला काफिरों को जो जहन्नम में डालेंगे वो भी अल्लाह का एहसान है. If Allah, the one who would land in hellfire, that will be because of the ihsan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That will be a favor upon that person too. तो एक वो ज़ात जो मुसलसल एहसान, वहाँ का बैठा बाहर हो, वहाँ क्या है, करीब आ जाओ बेटा, करीब आ जाओ, सामने आ जाओ, मिठाई लेके आओ, तुम सबसे काम के आदमी हो आज. So Allah is constantly favoring us, favor upon favor upon favor, favor after favor after favor. And such Allah is saying about one thing, that I have favored the mu'mineen. I am favoring, I am blessing the mu'mineen with my favor, a special favor. एक बड़ा ख़ास एहसान कर रहा हूँ, बड़ा ख़ास एहसान कर रहा हूँ. क्या एहसान कर रहा हूँ? अल्लाह ने तहक़ीक़ एहसान किया तुम्हारे ऊपर जब तुम्हारे दरमियान भेजा रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को. तुम्हारे दरमियान भेजा किसको? रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को. लक़द मन्न अल्लाहु अलल मुमिनीन. अल्लाह ने एहसान फरमा दिया मोमिनीन के ऊपर. क्यों? वो रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम क्या करते हैं? ऐसी क्या ख़ास बात है कि इतना बड़ा एहसान हो गया कि एहसान करने वाला बता रहा है कि देखो ये मेरा ख़ास एहसान है. जब कोई मुसलसल एहसान करता रहे और फिर किसी एक ख़ास चीज़ के बारे में कहे कि देखो ये मेरा ख़ास एहसान है, ये ऐसे है जैसे हम किसी को कोई बड़ी कीमती चीज़ दे रहे हों और हमें अंदाज़ा हो कि ये इसको वैल्यू नहीं देगा, इसको शायद अंदाज़ा ना हो कि ये कितनी वैल्यूबल चीज़ है, तो हम कहते हैं ख़ास तौर पे कि देखो ये बहुत वैल्यूबल है, तुम्हें पता ही कितने का है. Do you know its value? When we are giving somebody something that is very valuable and we have a feeling that they will not be able to appreciate or view it as a valuable thing, fulfill the right of that valuable thing, then we particularly mention it to them कि देखो ये इतनी महंगी चीज़ है, this is such an expensive thing, this is such an important thing. So Rasool sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he is such a valuable thing that Allah is mentioning it particularly कि देखो इनका ख्याल रखना, देखो इनको वैल्यू देना, बहुत स्पेशल, बहुत बड़ा एहसान कर रहा हूँ कि तुम्हें रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम दे रहा हूँ। और क्यों? क्योंकि ये बड़ा एहसान क्यों है? Why is this such a big favor? Why is this such a big deal? Because he does these things. He is going to do these things to you. यतलु अलैहिम आयाती, he is going to recite my verses upon you. मेरा कलाम तुमको पढ़ना सिखाएंगे सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम। जो अल्फाज मेरी ज़ात से निकले, कलामुल्लाह कुरान पाक अल्लाह ताला के वर्ड्स हैं। There is nothing like the Quran. These are the actual words of Allah. In fact, these are the every single tiny little thing, every zabar and zair and pesh that has come exactly like this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other books, Allah gave them in Arabic, Angel Jibreel translated it for the Nabi that was going to be given to, that the book was going to be given to. Quran, Allah spoke the words in Arabic, Jibreel alayhi salam transferred the words in Arabic, Rasool sallallahu alayhi wasallam heard and memorized those words, listened to those words in Arabic and transferred those on to the Sahaba. So these are the exact words of Allah himself. The way Allah said those. This is the reason why we are so particular about it. बहुत नाजुक मामला है. May Allah bless our huffaz that they were very particular about it. You might have noticed that they were repeating ayat sometimes. This was only for the reason because they wanted to recite the Quran exactly without even a tiny thing here and there, because these are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the words of Allah you will not be able to recite, you will not be able to listen to if it were not for Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to recite those upon you. मेरा कलाम तुम पढ़ नहीं सकोगे, सुन नहीं सकोगे, रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम तुमको पढ़कर सुनाएंगे. My words will be recited upon you by रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. और जैसा वो पढ़ाएंगे वैसा पढ़ना होगा. The way he taught you, that is how you have to recite. जैसा उन्होंने सिखाया वैसा पढ़ोगे. By being a human being, by virtue of being a human being, this has been installed within us, that we have this deep-seated love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are dying to talk with and see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have this desire within us, अपने खालिक से बात करने का जज्बा, अपने खालिक की बात को सुनने का जज्बा. तो हमारी इस ज़रूरत को पूरा करेंगे रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. इसलिए वन ऑफ द रीजंस वाई अल्लाह ताला इज सेइंग कि तुम्हारे ऊपर बहुत बड़ा एहसान कर रहा हूँ. आई एम डूइंग अ बिग फेवर अपॉन यू व्हेन आई एम गिविंग यू रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. Because no matter how much you wanted to talk to me, no matter how much you wanted to have heard me, you would have not been able to hear me if it were not for Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. पढ़ना तो दूर की बात, किताब को हाथ नहीं लगा सकते थे. You would not have been able to, you're not allowed to touch the book without learning it from Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Quran says, لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. The Quran is not touched except by the pure people. Now who are the pure people? या अल्लाह नमाज किताब पढ़ने से पहले गुस्ल करें, वज़ू करें, नहा के आएँ, डुबकियाँ लगा के आएँ, स्विमिंग करके आएँ, क्या करें? रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम would tell us what is that state in which you are even allowed to touch the book. So without asking Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are not even able to touch the book. किताब को छू भी नहीं सकते. तो रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम तुम्हें अल्लाह की किताब पढ़ के सुनाएंगे. जैसी वो पढ़ के सुनाएंगे वैसा ही मेरा कलाम है, वही मेरा कलाम है. That which he recites upon you, that is my कलाम. Those are my words. इसीलिए जब हमारे हुफ़ाज़ या कोई भी हमें कुरान शरीफ पढ़ के सुना रहा होता है तो वो दरअसल रसूल अकरम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की उस सुन्नत पर अमल कर रहा होता है, उस कार नबूवत, मकसद नबूवत के उस हिस्से पर अमल कर रहा होता है. इसमें कहा गया यतलू अलैहिम आयाती. The Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited the ayat upon general people. The Hafiz Sahab, the Qari Sahab is reciting the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the same manner upon us. and in the exact same style and the same way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recited to Jibreel and Jibreel alayhi salam transmitted to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So yatlu alayhim ayati wa yuzakkihim, and through this book Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam is going to purify you. Purify you means purify you from all sorts of impurities. शिर्क से तुम्हें पाक करेंगे, कुफ्र से तुम्हें पाक करेंगे, किब्र से तुम्हें पाक करेंगे, तुम्हारे जिस्म को पाक करेंगे, तुम्हारी रूह को पाक करेंगे. every single one of your things and your affairs, तुम्हारे मामलात को पाक करेंगे, तुम्हारी माशरत को, तुम्हारे तिजारत को, तुम्हारी मिलने जुलने को, तुम्हारे उठने बैठने को, तुम्हारे खाने पीने को, हर चीज़ को तुम्हारी पाक करेंगे रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम इस कुरान के ज़रिए. He will recite the ayat upon you and he will purify you, everything of yours, be it visible or invisible, tangible or not tangible, your ruh, your akhlaq, your personality, your dealings, your socializing, your professions, everything, your transactions. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam would purify it through the Quran. अगर तुमको रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ना देता तो तुम गंदगी में पड़े रहते. You would have been in constant perpetual impurity. You would have been dirty and you would not know how to clean yourself. You would have wanted to clean yourself, but you would not have known the way. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam through the Quran would cleanse you. Then وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ, he not only tells you how to recite the book, he does not only purify you through it, but he also teaches you the meaning of the book. कुरान के माने भी रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम सिखाएंगे. तुम खुद सीखने बैठोगे तुम गुमराह हो जाओगे. तुम कहोगे कि मुझे अरबी आती है, मैं कुरान शरीफ को पढ़ूंगा और सीख लूँगा और समझ लूँगा, या मुझे अरबी नहीं आती तो मैं अपनी ज़बान में तर्जमा उठाऊँगा और कुरान शरीफ को समझ लूँगा. तुम गुमराह हो जाओगे, क्योंकि रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को भेज रहा हूँ कि वो न सिर्फ ये कि तुम्हें अल्फाज किताब सिखाएं बल्कि किताब के माने भी सिखाएं, किताब का इल्म भी सिखाएं. इसलिए तुम्हें ज़रूरत पड़ेगी कि रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के पास जाओ और रसूल अकरम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से पूछो कि फ़लाँ आयत का क्या मतलब है. जो रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम बता देंगे वही मतलब है मेरी बात का. You will have to go to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and you will have to ask about each and every single ayah. Ya Rasulullah, what does this ayah mean? What is the intent of Allah behind this ayah? And Rasul's job is that he will tell you what that actually means. So if you say that I will understand the Quran myself, or I will understand, if I do not know Arabic, I will read the translation and I will understand the Quran, you will be misguided. You will be misguided. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam would teach you what it actually means, and the only meaning of the Quran that is acceptable is that which Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells you. सिर्फ वही माने काबिल कबूल है जो रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने बताए. इसलिए अगर आज if you are sitting in the 14th century and you say that I have learned or I have heard something or I have realized that this is what the Quran means that no one else before me had heard of, or the Quran is saying this very clearly, so I'll follow this even if it goes against the understanding of what has been told in the hadith and the sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the practice of Sahaba, they are misguided. They are misguided. They are going against the Quran itself. So it's such a stupid thing to do. You are claiming to follow the Quran, but you're not following the Quran, because the Quran is telling you to learn the Quran from Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. वल हिकमा, तुम किताब को पढ़ना भी इन्हीं से सीखोगे, किताब के माने भी इन्हीं से सीखोगे, किताब पर अमल कैसे करना है, अपनी ज़िंदगी में कैसे लेके आना है, ये भी रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से सीखोगे. You will learn the words of the book from Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the recitation of the book from Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You will learn the knowledge of the book, what it actually means. You will also see the Quran in action in your lives only through Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. तुमने चाहा अल्लाह से बात करना, अल्लाह ने रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़रिए तुम पर अपना कुरान पढ़वाया. तुमने चाहा पाकीज़गी हासिल करना, अल्लाह ने रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़रिए कुरान को भेजा جس کے ذریعے تم کو پاکیزہ کیا. تم نے چاہا کہ اللہ کی بات کو سمجھو. Because there's one thing that I wrote a book, right? Haji Makki, it comes about him that he was a great poet as well, and his poetry was kind of difficult. And he was going in the market one day, and people were reciting his poetry. Somebody was reciting his book of poetry. Neither the reader nor the listeners understood the poetry, kind of like here. But Hazrat Haji Sahab, he was very happy. He said, I understood the meaning of the tilawat of Quran, that what a bounty it is that we recite the Quran when we even do not fully understand the meaning of the Quran. The reciter does not know the meaning of the Quran fully, the listeners do not understand the meaning of the Quran fully, but it makes Allah happy. It makes Allah happy. This is the reason why Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, if I remember right, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anh, to recite a surah of the Quran to him. Think about it. Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about whom Allah is saying he is going to teach the humanity the meaning of the Quran. Who will know the meaning of the Quran better? Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam or his sahabi? That Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam is asking a sahabi to recite the Quran to him. What does that mean? That the words of the Quran alone, even if there is no understanding, they carry a lot of weight. They carry a lot of value. They are very, very, very dear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In fact, when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam went to Mount Tur the first time, he saw a light on a tree, and he went there and he heard the tree talking. He heard the sound of the tree. The Quran has mentioned it. This was the first kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Musa Kalimullah, right? The one who talks to Allah. Musa alayhi salam Allah ki pehli dafa Allah ka alfaz sun rahe hain. What are those words? Innani anallah fa'budni. I am your Lord, do my ibadat. The body was of the tree. The body was of the tree. The words were of Allah. The tree did not have control that he could stop that voice. The tree did not have control that it could change the words. When we recite the Quran, we do not have control that we can change the words. It is the words of Allah coming through the body of the reciter. The exact words of Allah coming through the body of the reciter. So this is one of those deeds, one of those actions. The reciter does not understand the meaning of the Quran, but he is uttering the words. When we are reciting the Quran, we are uttering the words of Allah. Such a virtuous deed, such a high, such a valuable deed, that I am saying the words of my Allah. The words of my Allah are echoing and coming out through my mouth. So the Prophet ﷺ has given all of these things to you. Through him, essentially, Allah has given you a connection to himself. Allah has given a connection to you, provided for you a connection to himself. तुम अल्लाह से बात करना चाहते थे, अल्लाह ने रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को ऐसी ज़ात बना के भेजा कि जिन्होंने अल्लाह का कलाम तुमको सुनाया. तुम पाकीज़गी चाहते थे, अल्लाह ने तुमको पाकीज़गी दी रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़रिए. तुम कुरान को समझना चाहते थे, अल्लाह ने समझाया कुरान को तो उनके ज़रिए सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. और तुम चाहते थे कि कुरान पे अमल करो, कुरान को देखो कि कुरान पे अमल कैसे होता है. जो अल्लाह ताला चाह रहे हैं वो इंसान की कलाम अल्लाह का है, अप्लाई ज़िंदगी पे हो रहा है इंसान की. तो इंसान की ज़िंदगी में कैसा नज़र आएगा कुरान? हाउ वुड द कुरान बी सीन व्हेन इट इज़ इन एक्शन? It is in the life of a human being. That will also be shown to you by Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. يُعَلِّمُهُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. He teaches you the practical application of the Quran, which is the Sunnah of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Mufassirin have translated and explained hikmah as Sunnah. Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam तुमको कुरान पे अमल करके दिखाएंगे, इसको कहा जाएगा सुन्ना. اور یہ ہے قرآن کی عملی تفسیر. This is the practical application, the practical understanding of Quran. So my dear respected brothers, when my Allah has sent Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam and explained me and given me a way, he is my connection to Allah. When he has been given as a connection that can connect me to Allah while I was not able to connect with Allah, then how much value should we have for Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How much value? In fact, at the end of the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَإِن كَانُوا مِن قَبْلُ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. If it were not for Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you were in total darkness. تمہارے پاس کچھ بھی نہیں ہے رسول صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کے بغیر. You have nothing without Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are totally misguided. If you are not listening to my Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are absolutely 100% in darkness. So my dear respected brothers, when we talk about the Quran, we have to talk about Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we want to understand the Quran, we have to understand Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we want to act upon the Quran, we want to act upon the sunnah of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is the reason why we should value Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we should think about Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in little tiny things, we should make sure that we are following our Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every year Ramadan comes and we hear different things, that we pick small tiny sunnahs of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nothing is tiny about Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but things that are very easy to do. Things that will not reduce our social status at all, that will not affect our false sense of respect in the society at all. If I cover my head outside, what will people say? If I grow a beard, what will people say? If I keep my trousers above and keep my ankles bare, what will people say, right? These are the kind of things which are hard to follow. But there are many things which are very easy to follow, and we are not following them. بہت سی باتیں ایسی ہیں جو بہت آسان ہیں, لیکن ہم صرف اپنی سستی اور لاپرواہی کی وجہ سے ان پہ عمل نہیں کرتے. Eating from the right hand. Why don't we eat from the right hand? This is the sunnah of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Clear instruction of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who is stopping us from eating from the right hand? Eating and drinking, sitting down before doing that. I have heard from my mashayikh that someone who brings one sunnah of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam in their life, they are inviting and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to automatically add more sunnahs to their life. So start from things which are very easy to do, which are not even done in public. When we sleep, we lie down on our right side. Who's stopping us from doing that? At least for a little bit, with conscious sense that Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sleep like this. When we see our kids, when we see any children, we express our affection to them. But first we consciously think that I am doing this because this is the sunnah of my Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I enter in my home, I say salam, thinking that this is the sunnah of my Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I enter with my right foot in the masjid, leave with the left foot from the masjid. Who's stopping me from doing that? Who's going to make fun of me if I do that? Nobody. When I'm in the masjid, I try to cover my head. At least when I'm in the masjid. Who's going to stop me? People are going to appreciate it. People are going to like it. So at least bring small little sunnahs into our lives, doing two things. One thing, Ya Allah, I'm doing this because this is the sunnah of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Second thing, Ya Allah, I have intent that, Ya Allah, with these sunnahs that I am following, you will enable me to follow the other sunnahs which I am finding hard to follow. Inshallah, this is something that we can all do. And one more thing that we can inshallah do is start doing lifelong. Everybody has to do it. Everybody should do it. That before going to bed, talk with Allah for a few minutes. Talk with Allah for a few minutes. Does not have to be on a musalla, does not have to be on a sujjada, does not have to be in a state of wuzu. We can, before sleeping, before dozing off, we can in our head, even without moving our tongue, how much easier do we want this to be? We can talk to Allah that, Ya Allah, whatever I did wrong in this day, whatever I did that displeases you, Ya Allah, please forgive me. Ya Allah, the next day will start tomorrow. Ya Allah, enable me to do better tomorrow. Do more of the things that please you and stay away from the things that displease you. When we keep asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah definitely opens up the way. These things that I have mentioned, my great grand Shaykh Hakim Ulumad Masha Thani Rahmatullahi may Allah bless him, he mentioned those. कहते थे कि तुम्हारी इज्जत पे बट्टा भी नहीं लगेगा और दीनदार बन जाओगे. Your honor will not be destroyed, your honor, your respect will not be affected, and you will also become a person of Allah, a religious person. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Dua karenge. Dua. We'll listen to a naat inshallah, and then we'll do dua. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. Poetry. Yeah, listening to poetry, saying poetry in the praise of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a sunnah of the Sahaba. The Sahaba did that. There are multiple reports where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was praised by the Sahaba in front of the Sahaba. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, frequently we've seen the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave dua to those people who were saying poetry in the praise of Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of those duas was, may Allah protect your tongue, which means that may Allah may protect you from saying something wrong, exaggerating, which is something which is a problem these days, but may Allah protect us from it. Focus on him.
السلام يا سلام السلام يا سلام السلام يا سلام السلام يا سلام السلام 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 مصطفى مصطفى منبعون اصطفى سيد الأنبياء مشعل في الوفاء كان في عطفه باليتامى فحن قلبي له فاض شوقا إليه ليس أرجو سوى شربة من يدي الصلاة عليه والسلام عليه للسماء ارتقى فأتى بالنقاء غدا وجهه نيرا مشرقا كان من عفوه حين حال اللقاء قال بل تذهبون تنقى حقي دلداركم شاهي أبراركم حقي دلداركم شاهي أبراركم میرے سرکار کو سب کے غمخوار کو میرے سرکار کو سب کے غمخوار کو السلام 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 उनकी रुखसार पर जुल्फ खंदार पर उनकी आँखों में सुर्ख की मिक़दार पर उनके कदमों पे और धीमी रफ्तार पर उनके अल्फाज की प्यारी कार पर उनके अखलाक पर आला किरदार पर उन पे लिखे गए सारे अशार पर ऐसे आसफ व अज़मत के मीनार पर रोज़ जाऊँ मैं कुर्बान सरकार पर उन पे पढ़ता रहूँ मैं दुरूद व सलाम उन पे पढ़ता रहूँ मैं दुरूद व सलाम अस्सलाम 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 السلام 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 उनके अतवार को आला किरदार को नर्म गुफ्तार को तेज रफ्तार को आमिना माई को आपकी दाई को बूढ़ी हमसाई को हर शनासाई को माँ के ममताओं को जन्नती पाँव को प्यार की छाँव को उम्मती माँव को इश्क के फख्र को इल्म के क़स्र को पे करे सब्र को बिन्ते बू बकर को नाज़ बरदार को उनके गम खार को चार के चार को यानी हर यार को उनके दिलदार को आशिक़े ज़ार को ज़ानुए यार को खार को अदर की आब को जोश की ताब को गोहरे नायाब को इब्न खत्ताब को मार को जान को दस्ते फैज़ान को इब्न अफ़्फ़ान को हज़रत उस्मान को फ़िक्र तेज़ तलवार को फ़तह बरदार को अज़्म करार को उनके घर बार को फ़िक्र व एहसास को उनके अल्मास को इल्म की प्यास को इब्न अब्बास को उनकी जाबास को एकदम साज को हबशी अंदाज को अजल आवाज को एक सुखनदान को एक सना खान को नात की शान को यानी हसन को अस्सलाम 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 शाहे ज़ीशान को शाने कुरान को शाहे ज़ीशान को शाने कुरान को जुज़्वे رب کے مہمان کو جزو ایمان کو رب کے مہمان کو السلام 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 السلام.
Don't need the video. This is fine. Allahumma lakal.